So I originally intended for this video to be like, I didn't intend it for it to be a video in the first place. Like it was originally meant to be a document or something like that. Just a document, like something formally written. And like I just decided, why not? Like I feel more like just relaying my thoughts about all of this instead of like just writing it in a more formal manner and like telling the story of how all of this happened and all that shit. So here I am. I'm doing this completely unscripted. I'm currently in the bathroom of my house, in fact, recording on my phone because that's the best microphone I have. And like, and I'm at the bathroom because that's like the area of the house with the least background noise. And right now, I'm just, yeah. So, first off, like, the elephant in the room, I guess, congratulations to Ali for winning season 9. It's great to see you win. I actually wasn't really expecting you to win. Like, back in the final 10, for example, there were such big players like John Dubuk or even Gizmo, who, like, I thought they were going to win, really, one of them, or ZQXJ, especially him, because he was, like, front runner at the time, and he seemed like he had really good responses, and he could win the season. But it's still great to see you win because you're like a friend of mine, and that's awesome. And of course, Chigismo, well, you got second. That's it. Like I was kind of nervous that this kind of like complaints and controversy would happen about the whole average scoring thing. Like that I was nervous that something like, oh, the best response isn't from the finalist who wins thing was going to happen because, like, to me, that doesn't really matter, but, like, it, there's bound to be people who are going to complain about it. Like, there's always going to be that person. And, of course, I did expect it to be the person who lost, like, but I still thank you for like keeping it pretty cool afterwards. Like you even after like you complained about it and argued with me, like you still kept like a calm mind in the results chat, like when you were giving your speech. So right now, as I'm recording this, Ali hasn't given his speech yet. I don't know if he will soon. I don't really know. I'm not on my computer right now. I'm staring at my phone screen. And well, of course, I did take some notes, of course, from that argument we had yesterday because I'm recording this on April 2nd. I don't know if it's gonna go up today, but who knows. And I am going to take some notes, even though I disagree with a lot of things you said, Gizmo. Like, I am going to like I am going to try to at least make sure that these things like these finale scorings are more on terms with the contestants in future seasons. And well, speaking of future seasons, season 10, when's it gonna happen? Well, I think I've already said this before, but like I'm not really sure. I am almost like I'm nearly sure it's gonna happen, but I don't know when. And that's because like I really don't wanna like leave an expectation like I'm always gonna be working for the minitwow and I'm gonna get it out as fast as possible, like I did with season 9. Instead, like I'm trying to keep myself like less restricted to working strictly on the minitwow because I think that was the mistake that made season 9 like not nearly as good as I wanted it to be. So yeah, I've already said all of this before, so I have no clue. But I do have some things that would be cool to share, though. So first off, Well, I think some of you might know this already, but I'm planning season 10 to be to have as a complement to the actual minitwow a website through which you could like respond and vote and check stats and yeah, really, that's the thing I'm planning. It's the big thing I'm working on, and it's going good. I'm making some progress. Maybe I'll show it to you later on the website. It's really basic right now, but I am planning a lot of cool stuff, and I know how to make most of that stuff, and the rest I assume I can figure out, of course. But yeah, sometimes plans might change. I might settle for other stuff, but right now I'm trying to make it so that I can sort of integrate the website and the bot together. Like so I can, for example, oh, you do something on the website, like you respond on the website, and like the bot, like it can trigger an event on the bot. Like you sign up through the website, the bot gives you a DM right as you sign up or something. I'm probably not going to do that, but it's an example. So of course, and there's more stuff like more technology based stuff. The website thing is also like mainly made to prevent using Google Sheets because that working with Google Sheets recently has been like one hell of a struggle, like really bad because I'm getting to the point where Google Sheets doesn't really have the capabilities for the things that I want, like the private and public sheet. They're both really laggy and hard to work with for this season, and like there's always functions going off, like giving errors for no reason, and then I have to figure it out so I can keep the season going, like so I can keep doing stats because like stats often broke because of the formulas randomly giving errors. And yeah, that was like it wasn't too hard to fix, but it was like annoying and kind of demotivating. So I'm planning on like trying to make my own way of handling that, like visualization of stats. Like it's not going to be on a sheet, you can see it on the website, and the website is really going to be, it's so some background noise just to keep things fresh, I suppose. It's gonna be the main focus of the season, I suppose, because like yeah, it's really the new big thing, and I'm trying to keep it like as accessible as possible. Like I'm learning things from the errors of the bot because it wasn't perfect. I'm trying to improve on everything that I did wrong on bot, and hopefully the website won't have as many errors because hopefully I won't feel too pressured to like release the season at an acceptable time instead of like sitting down thinking over everything, like just to make sure that it's reasonable and that everyone can use it. And what else do I have to talk about? I don't think there's much. This is a lot shorter than I initially expected it to be, but perhaps I'm forgetting some stuff. The website is not gonna replace the bot, for the record. It's gonna be like anything that you can do on the website, I'm planning to make it so that you can also do on the bot, or maybe not everything, but like the core things you'll be able to do on the bot as well. Oh god, it's fucking okay. It stopped. So that like even if the website goes wrong for some reason, there's still the bot. I'm planning to make it like a lot more. I'm trying to make it a lot more simple because when I started season 8, that's 8, not 9. It was like when I first introduced the bot, and like I had a lot of complaints that it was confusing or something. I mean, of course, I disagreed, but like, I was also the one who was working like for months on the bot, and of course, I knew everything. I designed it, and still, it was a bit confusing to navigate or maneuver for some people. And I remember being a bit salty about that. I remember Capricorn and specifically complained that I was kind of, and yeah, I'm afraid I was kind of mean, but yeah, I'm trying to put like that's a main theme of what I've been getting wrong, I think. With that is not being like not correctly putting myself on other people's perspective, on other people's shoes, whatever. I don't know how that idiom goes in English. I only know it in Portuguese. So really, I want to be able to make sure that no matter what, everyone's gonna be like at least somewhat happy. Because there were a lot of people who complained about the prompts, for example, this season. That was a big thing also. People who complained about the prompts. Like, of course, I liked the prompts. That's why they were the prompts that were released. And I spent a lot of work like on the story in specific and making sure it was good because it's something I've always been interested in making like an actual continuous story, and I felt like minitwows were a great way to convey that. I mean, I think a lot of people would agree that I didn't do like I didn't do a stellar job at like conveying the entire story thing and keeping it balanced with the actual minitwow. And well, I'm a bit inclined to agree because the story became somewhat of a hassle, and it was partially because of the complaints. Because like I wanted to make sure I was keeping people happy, and like I mean I did keep a lot of people happy, but like there were always like the people who complained, and of course they are the ones who I'm gonna think the most about. And so like from my perspective I thought, oh shit, people aren't happy with the way I'm doing things, with the way like with the wordings of the prompts and the styles and stuff. I'm not gonna name names, even though I very well could and probably should, but like people complaining that the prompts were too limited, hint hint. Of course, I don't blame them, but like they're entitled to their own opinions, of course, but like and I do respect that. But they were indeed the reason why there were so many delays, primarily at least, because I wanted to make sure that everything was okay, as I've already said, and I kind of fell into the demotivation whenever I felt like I didn't succeed at that, or when I felt like that was too hard. Like for the second story prompt, like it was pretty hard to like just convey the prompts and the story that I wanted to tell in a specific way. And I kind of spent like days on end, like obsessing over the story and prompts and like trying to figure out, oh shit, how do I word this? How do I make people not complain? And well, I mean, I guess it's honorable that I was trying to keep people happy, but I mean, there are some mistakes with that line of logic, like thinking only about the people who are going to complain and trying to keep them happy instead of like compromising. Because I didn't really compromise. I mean, Jesus fuck, I got that all wrong. I mean, I was looking mainly to compromise with the people who disliked the way I was doing prompts. Maybe they didn't even dislike it. They were just occasionally complaining and telling me that they didn't like this prompt in particular or something. And yeah, I tried to cater mainly to them, and I think that was a bit of a mistake. But in general, like season 9 had a lot of mistakes. Like it had a lot of good things, but it had some mistakes as well. I am glad that I went through that entire experience though, because it was quite the learning experience, of course. Even after you hosted 8 seasons, you still can learn a lot of things from a ninth one, and I'm assuming I am gonna learn things on the 10th one as well. But as like as I go, I'm trying to like make sure I don't forget what I've learned previously, and always try to be better and better at like just making things good, making things that you can see and think, oh, that's well thought. That's clever. That's a clever way of putting the prompt, instead of like, oh, this prompt has some flaw in it. I think I'm coming off as like too much complaining about the complainers and this one thing. That's not what I mean, for the record. Like that's just me not being able to word what I think properly. Honestly, I mean, I hope this is at least a little coherent. This is really just me talking about my experiences recently and what I think will happen. So, I don't know if I have much to say now. So, yeah. Season 10, never coming out. Bye. No, just kidding. It is coming out one day. Just don't rush me for it, because I'm not always gonna be in the mood to work for it. Like, I am, like, right now I am kind of motivated to work on it. In fact, I think I will go do that once I finish this recording and finish, like, writing the last story paragraph that I wanted to write. Or maybe wait until Ali gives his speech. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do now, but the important thing is that I'll know. And that's all I wanted to say. Goodbye. Okay, so this is post-recording Dark here talking again. So one thing I forgot to mention, and I feel like it's worth mentioning now. It's that, like, more specific examples of what I'm going to do with the website. So, like, for example, voting systems. A lot of people talked about the voting system and the voting conversion, and how I did conversion, like, based on each vote has a weight, and you have like three votes before your total weight begins to go down and all that stuff. And suggested using the Azrika slash Opcos slash Hans slash Firecracker method. That's like all of those are names I've heard for it in the past, which is weighing votes based on responses they voted on, not based on how many votes. And like, that makes it so you don't have to like vote 3 times and that's it. You can vote on all responses if you want, and the vote on the other responses isn't affected. You have only one weight per response, and that weight applies to that response. So, I mean, all of you know what I'm talking about, so I shouldn't have to describe it, but of course, I really only didn't implement this method because I was already demotivated and kind of sick of Google Sheets, which is what I use to make results. Like, I have a sheet with some formulas to make results for me, and especially because, yeah, especially because of that. And I kind of didn't feel like it was a main concern especially since most of that discussion began later in the season. To be honest, I really could have changed the way I do vote conversion then, but like there will probably be complaints about consistency and all that, but anyway, I am planning on using that for season 10 now that I have the opportunity to, and like a bunch of other things that I'm thinking about and have seen as ideas floating around and I think are worth implementing. That, for example, ideas that people like 96 and H like discussed about one day. I remember they were discussing about voting systems and vote conversion and in discussion society, I think it was, but it wasn't my server, so that's what's important. And I saw I was part of the discussion as well, and some good ideas like from 96, the custom screen size one. I think it was 96 who said that. I don't even know if he created that, but that's how I know the idea, so that's how I'm gonna credit it. Anyway, like custom screen size you can customize, and the minimum is like 9 or 10, for example, and the maximum is however many entries there are, and you can vote on all of them if you want, or you can vote on half of them or 10, so you get to choose. And like with the website, customization like that is a lot easier, and that's one of the big reasons I'm going for a website and something that allows me to have like an easy user interface to do that. And anyway, other than the website, there are things. Oh, right. Okay, not other than the website just yet, but like one thing I also thought of, I think Firecracker did this, I don't know, was like a system where you can drag the responses in the screens up and down, and then like you can just do that, and if you want you can click a button and it'll automatically generate a vote like for you based on the position on which you like drag them up or down, below or above each other. And that's an idea I think I could implement as well. And also like something like, for example, you select an entry and you get to see like the previous scores you cast for that entry, and you can do that to like more easily see how you voted previously. Like for example, I mean, if you need to, really all of this you could technically argue it's all novelty, but I think it's great to have because it adds convenience, and that's always good. Okay, now other than the website, there are some things that are like less website related and less like more and less related to new technologies that I'm using, like that I'm planning on implement simply because they're simply just ideas, and they're good ideas. Like one I had before of customizing reminder times. So everyone has their own complaints about some reminders, like, oh, my time zone wasn't covered, oh, these reminders are too frequent, these are too scarce. So I planned on making, like through the bot, you can customize at which times you receive reminders and how many you receive. And I think, and like abolish the regular announcement channel pinged reminders and just do DM reminders, and the bot DMs them to you based on like the custom the custom reminder like sequence that you set. So like there's gonna be a default which is like, I don't know, 3 reminders per responding period, and they're at set times, and you can change that if you want. You can have no reminders, you can have like 10 fucking reminders, as many as you want, really. Of course there are gonna be limits, obviously, but yeah. Man, I love how this was just meant to be a small extension, and it ended up as like over 7 minutes. I'm 7 minutes into this right now, So those are really two ideas that I mean, more than two, I guess, but two topics that I wanted to cover, like the voting thing and the reminders thing. I can specify more if you want, but I think I've talked enough by now. And I mean, I think you can understand it, but if you still want like more detail, I can talk about it more. But yeah, that's really it for now. Now for serious, goodbye.